Welcome and thank you for tuning into today's webinar. My name is Rahet Thomas. I've been with the Council for 16 years across various departments, currently based in the Business Liaison team, working alongside Chris Norrington and Glenn Thorogood, where we support all local businesses across Woking. Today's topic is organisational wellbeing. This is such an important topic to address, as some of us have been working from home for over 100 days. Others have been on the front line for the entire period. And other people are venturing slowly back into the office to find the new normality. We've all been affected in some way or another, such as maybe losing a loved one, contracted the virus, being vulnerable or shielding, feeling angry, depressed, frustrated, maybe with being furloughed, or homeschooling the children, and disjointed from the office dynamics. How do we address all these feelings and moods and move forward as efficient and productive teams? Today's webinar will map out a clear starting point for workplace wellbeing. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Shane Cook, founder of Jasper Wellbeing. Shane is a hospitality industry veteran for nearly 22 years. Over that time, Shane gathered a huge amount of knowledge about the industry and how they understood and supported staff well-being and mental health being. So I'm going to pass you over now to Shane to do the presentation this morning.
Hello, everybody. I will just share my screen. There we go. Right, thank you, Ria. So yeah, I'm Shane Cook and I'm the founder of Jasper Wellbeing. Now, as a company, our mission is to support businesses to lead the way in workplace wellbeing by basically helping create what I call a new world of work, where staff wellbeing always comes first and both mental and physical health are respected the same. Look, we're looking at completely different working environments, and some people are still working from home, and a lot of people probably will be for a very, very long time. And it's important for us to all adapt quickly and find new effective ways of us all being able to work together in them different scenarios. So this webinar is going to give us an insight into the benefits of investing in staff right now. So the order of the webinar will be, I'm going to just touch on some stats first, and then the benefits of wellbeing interventions, the impact of COVID-19, and that's from a personal and business perspective, and then starting fresh, which I think it's a great time to do. And I'm going to talk about RAW, which is a really, really incredible model that I use in my practice. And then I'm going to go on and give a few tips of things that you as businesses can get started with right now, today, which I think is the right starting point for organisational wellbeing. And that is going into psychological safety, leadership, and then renewing our values. So I want to start with the 6 core standards, which is a report for Thriving at Work by Stevenson Pharma Review. Now, number 1 is produce, implement and communicate a mental health at work plan. Then develop mental health awareness among employees. Encourage open conversations about mental health and the support available when employees are struggling. Provide employees with good working conditions. Promote effective people management and routinely monitor employee mental health and well-being. Now, here's some stats. Now, these are from the end of 2019 from the CIPD, Health and Wellbeing at Work. So I just want to point out, you know, with everything that's happened with COVID-19, we're probably looking at some much worse stats now. We are just waiting for them to come out. Now, absence is actually at an all-time low, which is 5.9 days per employee per year. But the worrying thing about that is 83% of respondents say they work when unwell. 63% say people use their holidays to work or when they're off sick. and 37% report an increase in stress-related absence. And I think a lot of that is down to promoting the right culture and the care of our people, so they're not having to do that. The top causes of long-term absence, the highest is mental ill health, 59% of respondents, 54% for stress. The same for musculoskeletal injuries, and then acute medical conditions, and then work and non-work related accidents. I mean, it's been said that a lot of these kind of other injuries, like the musculoskeletal industries and accidents that happen in work, could actually well be affected by that culture, by too much workload, and them kind of things. So the benefits I want to just touch on of investing in employee health and well-being. So this is a report from the CIPD as well, which is better employee morale and engagement, a healthier and more inclusive culture, and lower sickness absence. We can also see from interventions improved productivity, improved inner strength, higher morale, improved retention, decreased absenteeism and presenteeism, which is a big thing, and many more. The Deloitte report for mental health in the workplace, which was January 2020, reports that the average return on investment is around £5 for every £1 spent, which is fantastic, and that is because of retention, lower sickness absence, and them kind of things. So creating an environment to promote a state of contentment which allows an employee to flourish and achieve their full potential for the benefit of themselves and their organisation. So that is the aim, really. Now, COVID-19. So COVID-19, it's had a huge impact on our businesses, our people, and we can't really take for granted that there's not been any kind of psychological impacts to our people. Remember, when people come back to work, a lot of them might seem fine, and they might well be, but the story underneath could well be different. From a business perspective, we may have had to change our products, the way we deliver the product. We might have lost staff to redundancy, budget cuts. So with all that change, for some it might not be as easy as just getting back to work and just getting on with it. So this on the screen is a list of possible issues for individuals from the impact of COVID-19. Some people may have lost a loved one. A lot of people have lack motivation, and that's due to that non-focus on something which work provided. People have got money troubles because they've been on furlough and getting paid less. Strained relationships, how good that thought is of being able to spend so much time with our spouses and our children and everything. But actually, when we're not used to it, it can become very, very straining and have a real impact on those relationships. As we know, a lot of people are desperate to get back to work, absolutely desperate, but subconsciously going back, they might not be ready because there's been so much change going on. And work, actually, what they're expecting to go back to, it could be an absolutely different thing. Resilience may have really been, people who are resilient and adaptable may have lost that because everything again is so different. A lot of people have been alone, so a lot of people have been dealing with loneliness, and that can be really, really crippling. It really can. Bad habits formed, poor diet, lack of job security. Even though a lot of people have kept their jobs, they really don't know the future of what's going to happen. So people feel that anxiety and that worry. And also I've talked to a lot of people who've got a lack of trust for their employers now, who don't feel like their employers have done enough. But again, a lot of employers have done their absolute best, but you know, when we're in a position where we feel helpless, you know, we kind of look for people to blame as human beings. It's just a normal thing, really. So I just want to show you this this employee mood board. Now, this shows a chain of emotions and feelings through a poorly managed change process. Now, the green line at the top is how it looks on a well managed. It's always a positive chain or a positive journey. And then the blue line kind of gives us an idea. Now, this works really well with COVID-19, because when we first found out about it, when we first got sent home from work, we were in denial, like, what's happening? We don't know, is this really happening? This can't be kind of real. It's so odd. And then, you know, when a lot of us get told we're not going to work, and before there was government intervention, we were going home with no pay. So you do feel like guilt. You have to talk to your partners, your family, your spouses. I'm not getting paid. I don't know what's happening. And then that can turn into anger, and then feeling out of control. And then when other people are getting involved with that feeling of emotions, it can turn into chaos. At the bottom is the depressive side. So a lot of people are still here in this, right at the bottom, in this kind of depressive state. But a lot of people have come out of it. A lot of people have gone up to being curious about the future and seeing it as positive. They've opened up and accepted what's happened, and now getting motivated and engaged to what is going to be the new normal, if any of us actually really know what that actually is. So look, we never want our employees to go down to that depressive route. So well-managed processes are paramount. Now, obviously, with COVID-19, we could not help what happened, and we weren't ready to manage those processes. But we can manage going back to work, and we can't really look at it as just getting back to work. We need to manage these processes in an effective way. I've lost my cursor. There it is. So I believe that it is definitely time for a fresh start. When have we really had the opportunity to kind of assess everything from a work and personal perspective? You know, there's no way around this. It is goodbye to the old life, and in with the new, personally and professionally, which we are, I guess, still trying to work out what that is. Look, we need to adapt, but in a very well managed way. Now, employee wellness, look, it is the backbone to a successful business that promotes high performance, but work isn't just about high performance. It's important that we drive healthy high performance. You know, in these unprecedented times, investing in our employee wellness will actually probably be the key to our survival as companies over the next kind of 6 to 18 months. Our most important asset is our people, and then our product, and then our clients. That's how I see it. You know, without our people at their happiest, at their safest, there won't be 100% in terms of performance, which means we don't give our all to our clients or our customers. So managing change, no matter how small you think it might be, is really crucial. I think right now people really need that openness, that togetherness, the support. They're looking for clarity, that feeling of being in control of what's happening, to feel positive, motivated, but most of all safe in all aspects. So if we can support that as companies professionally, it gives them a better chance personally. I'd like to go quickly through Raw. Now, Raw is a really incredible model. It stands for Workplace Resilience and Wellbeing. I'm a master practitioner in this model, and I would like to show a video, and then we can.
The new world of work is bringing an unprecedented rate of change, and organizations and employees are struggling to adapt. Well-being and resilience are key to unlocking healthy high performance, empowering individuals, managers, teams, and senior leaders to meet these challenges with fresh thinking, energy, purpose, drive, and collaboration. RAW, Workplace Resilience and Wellbeing, is the world's first psychometric tool and survey that measures resilience and its impact on well-being. Developed by the Wellbeing Project, a leading global well-being consultancy, RAW gives both individuals and organizations unrivaled insight into current levels of physical, emotional, mental, and social resilience in the workplace. It is a robustly validated, evidence-based platform built by our team of business psychologists and industry experts. At the heart of RAW are the 5 pillars of resilience, a statistically validated model for understanding resilience. Drawing from the fields of clinical psychology, cognitive and positive psychology, as well as neuroscience, medicine, and nutrition, it gives a comprehensive view of an individual's levels of resilience and well-being across 5 key areas: energy, future focus, inner drive, flexible thinking, and strong relationships. RAW is quick and easy to complete and takes just 15 minutes using the online questionnaire. You'll then receive your own personal snapshot report to get a clear breakdown of your levels of resilience. But knowing the data on its own won't create change. Each individual RAW report gives clear, easy-to-implement strategies to drive improvement in each of the 5 core pillars. You'll have all the information you need to create your own personal resilience plan and prioritize some practical actions. And with RAW's innovative tools and models, you'll gain insight into how individuals, managers, and teams proactively develop healthy stretch and safeguard against strain. Feel confident you can face the future with optimism, secure in the knowledge that in these challenging times, you have all the resources you need not just to survive, but to thrive.
And that is RAW. Sounds good. So I want to quickly touch on that and talk about how it integrates different aspects. So RAW integrates physical, emotional, and mental resilience and well-being. The clear focus on proactively minimizing the risk in these areas. So for a long time, physical well-being and mental well-being, emotional well-being have been very separate, which is what I said in my my kind of mission at the start. It's important that they come together, and with RAW, this does. So it creates a really incredible and effective framework and model. So I'd like to quickly go through how it works in summary. So every participant will get a snapshot or individual report that outlines their well-being and resilience results. And then what happens, they will have a debrief with a RAW practitioner. So it's more of like it's more of a coaching session, so like an hour coaching session, and it goes through the results. And working together with the individual, you're building a personal strategy. So it gives someone a real understanding of their emotions, their needs, their resilience, and everything like that. Now, once 5 participants have taken place and had their report and their debrief, we can then do a workshop where we can have up to 16 people, and we can focus on the individual results as a group. But if we want to do it for teams, it's the same aspect. You've got 5 people that have had their reports and their coaching session, and then what we do is run all of them results together to form a team report. And then we do a full day workshop focusing on the 5 pillars of resilience, team results, and that ends with a team charter. So a team plan where everyone can work together. And the good thing about this is it really obviously, first of all, you help understand yourself, but then it allows you to understand others more clearly and their needs. And that's what brings that team unity together. And it's really good for breaking that kind of mental health stigma that we all see about still to this day. So as a company, we do follow up. That's not the end of it. We will follow up quite frequently. We'll celebrate successes and wins. And after 6 to 12 months, we look at running another set of reports. And then we can compare the initial reports to the reports in the present day. And I'm sure there will be a lot of change. So now, as I said, the main thing is healthy high performance. I keep saying it throughout the webinar, which is performing to the highest levels in both your personal and professional life while maintaining your overall well-being. So I wanted to now give tips of where we can get started straight away. So this is tips, again, as I keep saying, it's working on body and mind together. So these tips, you should be able to go away and start implementing them into your businesses straight away. They don't cost money, but they are the most effective ways to start with your organizational well-being. So we're going to start with safety, and this is very, very important, especially, I mean, it's always important, I say especially, but with everything that's happened, even more so. So what you can see on the screen is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is a great, clear model of general human needs, and we all want to reach self-actualization, which is just really being at one with your work, with yourself, and being content. Basically, it's about contentness. Now, on the left-hand side of the screen, we've got the original hierarchy of needs, which is from a personal level. On the other side, we're going to focus on from a job perspective. Now, as you can see, it's a pyramid. So to get to self-actualization, we need to fill in all the gaps. If we're missing anything, we're not really going to get to self-actualization, because again, this is general human needs. So I'm going to start from the bottom, from the base of the pyramid, and that's physiological needs. So we're talking about food, drink, water, what we need for energy, what we need to keep going, and making sure, you know, we're getting breaks for that, and pay, of course. The next step is safety. So that's safe working conditions, but also it's really important, this bit right now, because we feel so unsafe. So we need to really be truthful with our people, re-establish that job security, and you know, even if we don't know how it's going to go, it's at least having that talk to our people so they feel safer. And then we go into the social aspects. So it's making sure the culture is unified, it's inclusive, and we really push teamwork, because we all need support from each other, now even more so. And you know what, people might be coming back with different mind frames, and relationships might not be the same as they were before. We've been off for a long time, so it's important as to really make sure we are doing something about that. And then esteem. So we're talking about, you know, job title, prestige, and status, and that's you know, with change, we need to have them talks about position, and it's about clarity. Now, people might have taken different job positions within the workplace, but they might have the same positions. But again, it's important to have them talks when people are back in work, and because their day to day, their what they need to do in that job role might have completely changed. Their title might be the same, but it's clear what are the expectations now in this new kind of way of working. And then that gets to self-actualization, where, you know, values, your personal values and work values are very in tune. You're challenged in your job, but it's healthy challenge. So that's a great model, and I'm going to go on to the next page, which we're going to go through quickly. And this is the same this is the same concept, but this is from an employee engagement perspective, which is really good. So we're talking about, we're going to start from the bottom again and go up to that self-actualization. So from the bottom, it was that physiological aspect. So it's about survival. When we are implementing those things, when people are getting their breaks, their food, they feel good. But if that's all we're supplying, they're going to feel isolated and very disengaged. Then, you know, we bring that security and safety aspect in, and they start doing what's expected of them, but nothing more really, because they're yearning for that support aspect, that team kind of unity, and then belonging. So, you know, that's that social aspect that we just talked about. So when we make sure we're bringing that social aspect back into the workplace, people start feeling that unity. They start feeling almost engaged, where, you know they're good at their job because they're feeding off each other, but really don't understand the impacts, the impact they have in the company. And then we move on to that importance, that esteem part. When we, like I said about having them talks, it's important to have them talks. So people are clear and everything is there's real clarity, and that's when they are engaged. So once we've gone up that pyramid and put all them things into place, we're engaged now. And then that moves on to self-actualization, where values are aligned. And that's where I would like to go on to the next. Oh, no, actually, oh, sorry, I pressed that button too many times. So first of all, I'm going to talk about leadership, because this is one of the most important things, and re-establishing our good leadership values, our supportive leadership values, and all the things that we've touched on and spoke about. It's important that it comes from that leadership aspect, you know, leading people in the right way, coaching and supporting. So, you know, let's get our hands dirty as leaders. Let's get stuck in and join in with them different aspects of our businesses. Again, looking forward. So this is about the part I spoke about clarity, but just as a team, making sure everyone knows the journey. It might not be clear, but it's important to make that clear if it isn't clear. Empowering people. Of course, we need to empower and inspire people right now. And that's what I'm saying about being present as a leader, and just being a good example, you know, of how we act is generally what our people thrive off. And that shared vision, again, that's what we spoke about that inclusivity and people coming together as teams. Now, I'd like to touch on values, because actually, you know, our values define us, and as people and companies, we need to live and breathe them. Our values generally kind of are going to establish that alignment for best wellbeing practice, and that's where I say a lot of the time we should start. So I think it's a good time now to re-establish our company values, possibly actually relaunch them, do a relaunch day. Look, I speak to so many employees that actually don't know what their values of the company are, or they were told them at the start, but you know, years and years later, they've never been a driving force within the company. So for me, if we don't know our values and they're not at the forefront of the business, how do we know how to strive? What are we striving for? If we don't know what our values are and what those expectations are from the company, the way we act, the way we present ourselves, and all that type of stuff. So I just think it's a great place to start on that well-being journey. So this is a really great visual that you've got in front of you here. Now, this really outlines organisational well-being on a whole. Now, as companies, we generally a lot of companies have some great things in place, but look, if we go to the top, is where organisations often start. And we're talking about kind of free fruit and healthy foods, gym memberships, health insurance, that childcare support, yoga and massage sessions, and the social gatherings and family events. That's what a lot of companies put in place as a whole, but also a lot of companies, that's where they put in as a starting aspect. Now, these are brilliant things, but they don't reach out to everyone. It doesn't have that support aspect and that personal touch. Now, again, many companies then go on to this number two, the middle compartment, and that's where we bring in the mental health first aid, the resilience training, the talks on maybe nutrition and you know, just general seminars and support classes for overall well-being, which again, absolutely fantastic. But the reality is, to get the most effective start to a organisational well-being practice is what you can see at the bottom, and that's strategic necessity. So it's strategic necessity, then the personal support, then added value. Now, strategic necessity is culture, it's values, and this is everything we've spoke about today. So we're talking about re-establishing values, vision, leadership behaviours and coaching skills, collaborative teams, that unity, clarity of role, responsibilities and expectations, flexible working conditions, psychological safety, and all those things. And this is really, if we want to be effective and we want to reach out to the masses and start in the right place, then that is where we need to start. It's re-establishing our values, our culture, and our collaborative teams. So the next steps, look, the whole process for companies working with me is very simple. I'm looking to talk to HR departments and directors. It's important that we get buy-in, and what I mean by buy-in is that it's important that the companies that we work with are genuinely want to make change, and it's not a kind of tick box process because, you know, we're told to. It's important that as leaders, you know, we genuinely care about our staff. So that's the buy-in aspect of it. And then we can come and present raw as a whole, how it can impact the business and individuals, which is really massively. And then we would look at proposals and go from there. But if anyone would actually just like to get a quote, or several different quotes for different scenarios, then I can do that also. Now, I really urge everyone to take this opportunity to and time that we have to invest in what is really an unquestionable win-win investment. Your people need this. I believe businesses cannot afford to not address it. You know, your staff, they determine the survival, and we need to build resilience, build well-being in these very, very unprecedented times. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll stop my screen share. There we go.
Thank you, Shane, for sharing your insight into the workplace wellbeing program. As I said before, you know, this is such an important time to actually have a proper workplace wellbeing program in place. I just want to ask you a question because of your experience from being in the hospitality industry, where we know people work very long hours, huge staff turnover. What advice would you give to some companies in the hospitality industry based on your experience and how it affected you?
Well, I think I definitely think, look, a lot of companies need to work a lot of hours. They do in hospitality. That's how it is, and there's sometimes there's no getting around that. But it's important for us to be able to give our staff the information, such as an example, you know, if someone's working a 16-hour day, for instance, and they're having an hour break in between, they're getting home and they're generally in that buzz of being in the kitchen, and it takes hours to get away from that. So as companies, I think we need to really give the tools to help people know how to relax, how to switch off, which is something I've never seen before, and the big thing is how to access support. Now, I've spoke about values, and generally as hospitality businesses, restaurants, hotels and stuff like that, in my 22 years, I've never actually seen us work off any values in that way. And I don't think we generally do it because we're so focused on our product, which is obviously we want to serve the best product. But again, that's what I keep saying about it's we need to put our people first. Our people's health determines what our product is. And generally within hospitality, we have high performance, but we don't usually tend to supply the tools needed for healthy high performance. And healthy high performance can be met even with long hours. It's just how we do it and how we put that information forward, really. When I say well-being hospitality, a lot of people in the industry get scared because they instantly think, well, we can't do less hours. So I want this to get across to people. If you can't do less hours, it's about how we care for the people during that time. It can be done, I promise you.
Just a slight sort of different focus on the employee is so important to actually achieve that high performance. Are there any other questions, Glenn, Chris?
No, not from me. I thought that was very good, Shane. Most informative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Just a reminder, if anyone wants more information about Wellbeing Works, go to our website. There's also still some slots available for the end of July if you're interested in a one-to-one session with one of our business advisors. And then also don't forget about our webinar next week on the 16th of July. The topic is back to business. And we will be joined by John Paul Jackson and Rowan de Graaf from Working Shopping to share what they have learned since the restaurants and shops have opened, and also what the mood in the retail is across the UK. So that brings today's webinar to an end. Thank you, Shane, for sharing your knowledge and expertise with us. And we're looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.